I
Yeah.
came in thinking like, if I do the right thing, I will make X amount of money immediately. Like if I just work hard enough and do the right thing, I'll skip the in between, I'll skip the middle. And I've realized it doesn't work that way. And instead of letting that be a bad thing, it's like, okay, well, let's enjoy the middle a little bit.
Hey there, and welcome to the Life and Business on Purpose podcast, where purpose meets profit and mindset meets strategy. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former kindergarten teacher turned online business coach, mom of 2 really cool boys, and the creator of the Momentum Method. Through this 3-phase method over the past 2.5 years, I have helped dozens of women build values-aligned, profitable businesses without working 40+ hours a week, so they get to enjoy their business and live their lives on purpose. Around here, we do business differently because we believe success isn't about hustling to prove ourselves. We don't believe in rigid formulas or chasing someone else's version of success. It's about channeling perfection into power, moving with unstoppable trust in life and business, and leading with strategy that actually fits your life. Let's build your life and business on purpose together, one episode at a time. Here we go. Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. And I have an extra special surprise for you today. I actually don't even like surprises now that I think about it, but you're going to love this surprise. So I have one of my favorite people in the entire world, one of my incredible clients, Teddi, here with us today. Welcome, Teddi.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. And I would love for you to just share a little bit about who you are. I know this is a big thing that we work on inside of our work together is like, how do I describe who I am and what I do? Tell us who you are and how you do, girl.
Absolutely. Okay. So my little spiel. I, first and foremost, am a mom of 3, and I am also a pediatric nurse practitioner, but I have transitioned into the world of coaching, and my coaching business is Beautiful Mess Living. And I coach women who are just going through all the things, are living normal life, but sort of would describe themselves as surviving and not thriving. And my goal is really to help women find their empowerment, start to thrive, make the decisions that are either big decisions or the little everyday decisions in a way that really aligns for them and helps them move forward the way that they actually want to move forward. And so it's like we're choosing our path instead of just letting the path happen to us.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. And I love Teddi's work so much that as I've been, supporting you, as I've watched you, really hone in on the work that you do and how important it is for women, I've been like, wait, I need to get in on that, Teddi. I need your help. And so I am actually one of Teddi's clients as well. And she has helped me tremendously through this work in things that I thought I had a handle on. I really did, because I am not new to the, self-help personal development world, but my work with you has been amazing. So I'm excited to kind of share this back and forth today and give people kind of a behind the scenes of what happens inside of this coaching work, and just the magic that you bring to the world and you bring to your clients. So I would love to hear, you mentioned that you are a pediatric nurse practitioner, and I would just love to hear like the transition from that, your story around moving from that into coaching and like how you ended up where you are right now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words. I feel so fortunate that we are in each other's space, and it is a huge pleasure of mine. So I was like full-time a pediatric nurse practitioner when I had my first 2 kids. I became pregnant with my 3rd right before COVID hit, and was trying to manage a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, being pregnant, no childcare, working in the hospital. And it was just like not great.
A shit show, I would imagine.
It was pretty much a shit show. That's the way we'll put it. And it was really taxing on my anxiety as well, having to be out of the home and then not having help at home. It was like I had no space for me. My husband had no space for himself. We were just literally in the thick of it. And it had sort of been on my mind for a little while of like, I really like what I do at the hospital, and the hours are not hours that I want to choose for my family life. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was a very hard decision for me, but actually I chose before my son was born to go per diem, which basically means I pick up when people take off, and to let
Mm-hmm.
my full-time position go. And I made that decision with my first ever coach. And
Yeah.
she was someone who she was like going through her certification, and she needed someone to take through. And so she took me through. And that was the first time that someone really held me accountable to the decisions that I said I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way that felt supportive. And she was not making the decisions for me, but she was like, okay, you say that this is what you want. So what are you going to do about it? And I was like, oh, okay. And so
Oh
with
my.
her guidance, I went part time in nursing, and I haven't really looked back. There are days when I really do love that work and I
Mm-hmm.
miss it. And the hours are never going to give me what I want for my family. And
Mm-hmm.
so while I was not doing that, I was sort of in this interim space of like, what am I doing for work? And I am not a sit still kind of person. Like, I like to tinker with things. And so I sort of started a social media presence a few years ago. And then
Mm-hmm.
through working with my coach and through wanting to continue to help other women, especially women who were going through burnout, sort of like I felt, I had taken such a journey to come out of that, that I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to help other women do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I have 3 kids, right? I have 2 girls and a boy, and not that gender matters, but I was like, I want them to grow up empowered to take care of
Yeah.
themselves.
Yep.
And how are they going to learn that if I don't model it for them? And I also just like really love the creative side of having my own thing and choosing my own hours. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
Sandy knows this, but like when I have an idea, I just go. So I
I
got into
love
coach
that about
training
you.
and like have been
Yeah.
running ever since.
I seriously love that about you. And I know that sometimes you're like, I don't know if this is a good thing, but I'm like, you're so good at like the no and go, and you make a decision and you move. And I think that's a big part of also the work that you do, because your work
Mhm.
has evolved quite a bit over the past year.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you going back to, I think you started the story pre-COVID. So like 2019, 2020. So when people look at you and go, oh my gosh, she's like so far along, she's doing so well. Like this has been years in the making, like
Yeah.
all of the tiny little decisions that you made and then actually executed, even when it was uncomfortable or it was scary or it was uncertain. That's
Mhm.
gotten you to where you are now, which is running this business, building, growing, and continuing to make this beautiful impact on the women that you work with. And I see it like firsthand and I've experienced it. So
Yeah.
it's been really, really great. I would love for you to speak to a little bit. We were just talking about how your work has evolved
Yeah.
over the year and kind of where you started, because when you came into the mastermind, I
Mhm.
very much, well, I'll let you describe it. Like, why did you
Okay.
come into the mastermind? What did you think you needed then?
I came into so many things. I needed so many things, but
As we all do.
yeah,
We always do.
I came into the mastermind actually right before I graduated IGC
Yes, yes.
coaching. And I had already had my LLC. I had already had some pro bono clients,
Mhm.
and I had gone through one of your previous like workshops, and I
Mhm. Mhm.
loved how much information and hand holding you did in a way that was supportive and not here, let them do it for you, but in a way that was like, these are the things you need to focus on. And I could just tell that you were a person who gave 110%. And
Yeah.
so not only did I want to be in a space like that, but I also
Mhm.
felt like I could learn a lot from you. And so I
Mhm.
came into the mastermind thinking like, I just want to learn how to market myself. I want to start to grow my client bank. And I don't even think I definitely didn't know how great it was going to be in so many
Mm.
aspects when I started. It was really just like, I want to get this business going and this seems like the place to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I remember talking to you in those first couple of like conversations that we had, just be like, oh my gosh, this is like my person. Like you are exactly like who I would love to work with and who I would love to support. And I appreciate that. And I would love to hear kind of along the lines of like the evolution of like how your work has evolved over this past year together.
Yeah. So I think it's still evolving, but I guess all of
Yeah.
ours is.
Yep.
But when I first came into the mastermind, I really was focusing on women in burnout. And I don't think I
Mhm.
had figured out like how I was going to approach that from my own like framework yet. I really was just like, I want to help women. And as I've gone, I've tried to get a little bit more specific and I've understood a little bit better of like who my ideal client would be.
Mhm.
Because I think that has evolved from someone who really needs to be, you and I have talked about this, like pulled out of the weeds to someone who
Mhm.
is ready to do this work. And it's
Yeah.
not that I don't want to support both of those, but that was a really big shift for me and how I was looking for clients and how I was approaching them because I wanted to approach them in a way that supported them, but I didn't want to have to do all of it for them. And I think that's a really
Mhm.
big thing in coaching is we're not there to do it for you. We're
Yeah.
there to support you.
Yeah.
And then I sort of had someone point out to me, like, a lot of the work you're doing is decision coaching. And
Mhm.
that was not a realization that I had come to on my own. But as soon as it was said to me, I was like, oh, that really fits
Yeah. Yeah.
because it is these micro daily decisions that are causing our burnout. It is these micro boundaries that we are or not setting. And
Mhm.
so I have really I'm doing the same work, but it's through now this lens of like growth and decision making and boundary setting. And those are all very coachy words,
Yeah.
but that's kind
No.
of the lens I'm looking through right now.
Yeah.
And I think that has made a big difference in the way that I talk to my community. Um,
Mhm.
I would say the other big, and jumping around a little bit, the other big
Okay.
change is I recently went from just doing one-on-one coaching to having a group program. And that was like my dream from the get-go. And so
Yeah.
that has been a really cool experience to start,
Yeah.
and
And
has really just expanded my work.
yeah. And not only that, I mean, I've literally watched you just fill it with like people that you absolutely adore. And I've
Mhm.
literally watched you like have so much fun executing it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just grow in that way. It's been incredible. Um, if you're open to me sharing too and just like reflecting something back, if we're talking about
Yeah.
like evolution and like where you started and like where you're going and where you are now, I think a big part too, Teddi, when you came into the mastermind space and when you were just getting out of coach training, like fresh,
Mhm.
like, you know, like almost like deer in headlights, like, what do I do here? But so excited to
So
get
much.
going and get
Yeah.
started, as we all are. Um, a lot of the questions that you would ask in the beginning were very much around like strategy and like, what do I need to do? And what do I need to make
Mhm.
happen? Like, what do I need to do to make this happen? It's been so fun to watch you shift from, asking questions about strategy. And of course, we still absolutely talk about strategy and get in there and get nitty gritty together. But just to watch the questions that you ask now and the things that you come to the table with and honestly, like your identity has shifted so much from that first experience that we had together to
Mhm.
where you are now.
Mhm.
So love, like, if you're open to like chatting
Mhm.
about what that has looked like, what that evolution has looked like, not just the
Yeah.
strategy, but also like who you were then and who you are now.
Yeah. And I absolutely think that is due to the mastermind and working with you. Like, I would not diminish that in any way, shape, or form because it has totally transformed the way that I look at business and the way that I look at myself. And they're so interconnected. But when I first came in, it was like strategy. How do I make this work? And it was very, analytical
Mm-hmm.
and I took everything very personally. And so it was like, if this didn't work out or if this person said no, I think one of the biggest shifts for me is that I used to make that mean something about me or mean something about the work that I do. But through my work in the mastermind and through my work with you, I really have come to a much better place of like, that's okay if it's not for everyone. And that's okay if someone is not in a space that's ready to receive this. And I will find my right people. And also really like celebrating the small wins for being bigger because I think they're small, but then you and the mastermind community helps remind me that it's not small. And so I think a lot of my transformation has really gone from like, this is going to sound really bad, but gone from like wanting an outcome that I can explain to other people, like a financial outcome or a numbers outcome. And I've really focused back on the purpose of it, which is providing value. And so I'm trying to lead much more from a space of like, I want to provide value and it will hit those that it hits. And so it's not a perfect, it's not like I don't take no's a little bit hard every now and then.
No, I know.
Overall, it has really changed how I come at work in general.
Yeah. And it's been one of like the greatest pleasures for me as far as like watching you be able to redefine what success looks like for you. That was huge. And I remember on that first onboarding call, that was like a big topic of the conversation is like, because I 100% own this too. I was very much in a space when I first started my business where I was only defining success with how many clients I had, how much money I was making, how much recurring revenue I had coming in. And when those things felt to taper off or felt low or felt like not good enough, it was very much like this like panic situation of like, what do I need to do in order to make it work? Kind of like you just described. So watching you be able to redefine success, and that's usually something that when people come into my spaces, and you've seen this happen too, because you've seen other women come in and out of the space as well. Now you talk about good girl conditioning a lot, and that good girl conditioning tells us that there's like a right way to do things. And the right way is if you're making money, if you have, your client roster is full, if you have all this revenue going. And so really shifting that identity, I think is huge and allowing things to not be perfect. Like, can you speak to that a little bit? Because that's a big part of our conversations too around the perfection and how do we not let that slow us down?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's a few things within what you just said, right? One, being a little bit off, but I just like feel like this might help someone else is I came in thinking like, if I do the right thing, I will make X amount of money immediately. Like if I just work hard enough and do the right thing, I'll skip the in between, I'll skip the middle. And I've realized it doesn't work that way. And instead of letting that be a bad thing, it's like, okay, well, let's enjoy the middle a little bit. And the overnight success that you hear from others is probably not what we think it is. And so going from thinking that was how I was a good coach to being in the middle actually makes me a great coach changed a lot of my expectations for myself. And then I think like my business became more fun again because I didn't have those high expectations. And when it comes to the perfection, I think that is when business gets the hardest for me, specifically around content. When I'm like, if I say this right, then people will get it. And then I start to not even be able to speak at all because I'm like, I just get so caught up in my head. And it's easy for me to say there isn't a right way to say it. And I know that like there is some skill to it. And so I think it's the combination of like that skill plus my behavior that I have a tendency to just like act. So that does help me because my impatience sometimes overwins my perfection. But as I'm saying that, I think the hard thing then for me is the after the fact of like, well, if I had not been so go get 'em about this, would I have done it better so that people would have received it better? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think there's no, and we talk about this all the time and it's a big part of, my work too. Like there's no right way to do anything, but like, it's never just the strategy. It's the strategy plus who you're being behind it. And that's a big part of why, like we talk about the good girl conditioning and like there's actually no right way to do anything. And so when you release that, that's when, like you mentioned, like the middle part, it doesn't feel like there's so much pressure around it to have it figured out or to be posturing or to be showing up in a way that, we think our people want us to show up as. It's just we get to show up as us and we get to move. And it kind of becomes a game, right? Where it's like, there's no, like this one post today isn't going to make or break my entire business. It's all just me testing things out, trying things. And if something didn't go as planned, we just course correct or we do it again, but we do it now that we know better, we can do better. So there's there's nothing to that.
Yeah. And something that you have said that's really helped me with content and not feel like every piece has to be perfect is like the content bank is just a get to know me spot. Like it's not one off individually that's going to push someone one way or the other. It's just this like collective. And so I think that helps take the pressure off of the minute as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And when was the last time you opened up Instagram and found somebody and like looked at just one post and then bought from them?
Right. Never.
Probably not. Yeah. Like you go and you look around and you see what's going on and so it's, the pressure is a good girl conditioning thing. The pressure to, there's just so many things we could talk about around pressure, but
absolutely.
My goodness, I have just loved this conversation. I feel like we could talk like all day, but I would love for you to share. What are you currently working on right now?
Yeah. So I will say I have two of my favorite things that I'm working on right now. One is the group program that I mentioned. I'm calling it the table because everyone has a seat at the table. And when we meet, everyone brings something to the table. And it really grew out of the idea that so many women I talked to and coached with, or even just women who like came into my world and then left it pretty quickly, what they wanted was connection with other women who both were going through some of the things that they were going through and also wanted change around it. So not just like a vent space, but a space to like feel like you're not alone in it and see other women who are like taking that next step. And so that is sort of where this community grew out of. And it has just been a dream. I mean, it has been such a great space and I really love hosting it. I feel very fortunate of the women that are in it and I'm excited to see where it goes as it grows. And it's sort of just a supportive space for whatever these women are going through, but with the underlying idea of the things that I talked about earlier of how do we make our life and actually enjoy it? And what is dragging us back down? And what do we do about that?
Yeah. And I will say, I am a part of the table. I am a member of the table. I love the space so much. And it's been incredible. You launched it 2 months ago? Like behind the scenes, you launched it and you filled it with.
I launched it the first week of June. Yeah.
I don't know what
June.
month we're in
Yeah. So 2 months.
Yeah,
2 months ago.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what date is. I don't know what month we're in. I don't know. But I joined it because number one, I knew there were things in my life that I was like, I think I have a handle on these. And I want to get Teddy's take on this. I cannot believe what a difference just this summer, like I've felt in just the way that I feel in my everyday life and things that really used to hold me back. I wouldn't have known that they were holding me back had I not come into this space. But just things like the way that I'm feeling every day, the things that I'm like preemptively making a problem of in my life, or things that I'm worrying about when they're not actually a problem, creating boundaries with family and how I am, creating independence for my kids and also for myself in this next phase of life has really been a game changer. So 10 out of 10 recommend the table.
I appreciate that. And it's been
Yeah.
wonderful in such a short time to see such a big change that you've made. And it's almost like it just has taken me not by surprise, because I know that you're in it to do the work, but just like, it's so cool to watch the work that you're doing actually play out in someone's life and know that it has made a difference. Like that is, it's just so cool.
I see the same thing in you. I'm like, it's the exact same thing. Like we get to support each other. And that's one thing that I wasn't expecting this. I think when I first envisioned like my mastermind space was how very much like we all like hire each other. Like people are hiring each other left and right inside of there. And it's cool because there's nobody in there, like myself included, that is like pedestaled, right? That's like, oh, she's better than me, or oh, she knows more than me. It's like everybody comes with this incredible gift and we all are like, I want help with that. Let me pay you for that. Like I want to be in your space. So it's such a cool thing to witness and be a part of. And I know like
absolutely.
It's awesome. And then what's the other project?
So I know I have to share it. The title of this is How to Watch Netflix Without Grabbing Your Phone Every 5 minutes. And this is like a short 3-day experience that we're really going to dive into that idea of the day is done, the kids are in bed, dishes are clean, you sit down on the couch to like zone out to your show. And within 5 minutes, you're checking your work email, you're adding things to your grocery list, you're texting someone back. The show's ended and you're like, I don't even know what happened, right? So in this, we're really diving into the idea of sort of like the mental loop and tabs that never close and that are interrupting us from actually being present and enjoying the moments that we want to enjoy, and not allowing us to recover in a way that then helps us be who we want to be. So while we're diving into this very particular, like specific idea of how do we sit down on the couch and watch TV, translates to so many other spaces in our life, right? It translates to literally this morning, my girls and I took our dog for a walk, and then they were like, we want to teach him to walk better. And so like, can you sit outside on your computer while we teach him to walk? And it's like, do I have to be on my computer? Like, or can I just like walk with them for a few minutes? And it didn't mean there was everything that was on my to-do list was still on my to-do list, and I'm still going to get it done, but I'm going to figure out a way to do it that it doesn't side rail my other goals.
And I have loved watching you create this and build this experience out. And I know that it started, just to give a little like behind the scenes, if you're okay with it, like it started as like, I want to teach women, I don't remember the exact wording, but like, I want to teach women why they can't rest. And it was like, okay. And you had these big like bubbles of things of like, I could do this on day 1 and this on day 2 and this on day 3. And I was like, let's get super specific about this. And when you say that, when you say the title, How to Watch Netflix Without Checking Your Phone in 5 minutes, I think that really is so relevant. And anybody listening right now that says it's not, you are lying. Like it is so relevant and it's so sticky. And it's like, wait, oh my God, you're so right. And I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. And I think from like a business standpoint, that was really hard for me to get that specific. I was
know,
like, but I have all these ideas and I want everyone to hear every idea because I want to like fix it all. And in a good way, you were like, well, narrow it down a little more. maybe a
Yeah.
little more,
Yeah.
maybe a little
Yeah.
more. And I have had multiple people now tell me like, this is the best writing you've done. This is the most relatable it's been. And so I think that was a really good lesson for me.
Yeah. Because it
Yeah.
speaks directly, like it literally hits the, like, you get that like, oof, like that's me. And I pretend like it's not me and I act like it's
Yeah.
not me, but really, like I just went to watch Park with my kids, yesterday. And, after the movie, they're like, remember that part when da da da? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because I was on my phone, like doing work stuff.
Right.
And it's hard because I love to work. I really do. I love my work.
Yeah.
But it's like,
No,
I also
same.
need, you've just been so good at helping me, especially we're talking about summer. It's August. What day is it? August 4th.
Yeah.
Of just helping me identify, like, how do you want to feel this summer? And it's not that you don't want to do other things. Like, it's not that you don't want to work on your phone during the movie. It's that you want the presence. Like, you want the feeling of the presence. So what's got to give here? And you've helped me really, because I don't know, we're going off on a tangent now, but like one of my big,
I love it.
I don't want to record any new podcast episodes over the summer. There were multiple times when I was like inspired and I was like, I'm going to go record in my room. But then I like stopped myself and I'm like, it's not because I don't want to record. It's because I want to be present in this moment with my kids. So that can wait. Releasing the guilt that comes with that, or the like incessant need to keep working all the time.
Right. And that goes so deep, right? To the point of like, our value is not defined by our productivity. Our worth is not defined by our productivity. And so that is like a whole thing that you and I have been down that path. And there are nights when you want to sit and scroll your phone, and like that is what you want to do to zone out. And so this is not to say or to judge you for picking up your phone. It's just to say, make sure that that's a choice you're making. Right? Make sure that's your decision, because there are nights when I'm like, I don't have the ability to like focus on a show right now. I just want to like scroll my phone and do this. And that's not a bad thing, but at least it's a choice instead of like, well, I want to watch this movie with my kids, but I'm over here doing this. Right.
Right. Yeah. I want to. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm so excited for you to share the Netflix experience and all of this with the people that decide to attend. So we will put in the show notes, of course, like all the information to connect with Teddi, to check out the table, to check out the Netflix experience that's happening on August 18th. Well, Teddi, thank you so much for being here. I have one last question for you before we wrap it up. What advice would you give someone who is starting and growing their business and is in that middle phase and is just freaking out about, when is this going to work? How are we going to make this work? What do I need to do to make this work? Like, what would you tell her?
Well, first I would tell her to join your mastermind, but
thank you. Yes. Come join us. Hang out with me and
Teddi. I'm trying to think the biggest thing for me about the middle is realizing that it's greater than I thought it would be, in the sense of, we talked about this with the table when it first started, and I had like 2.5, 3 people in it, and I kept preempting it to people like, it's a really small group right now. And you sort of pushed back on me a little bit and was like, it doesn't really matter how big it is, but are those your ideal people? And that was the first time that I really felt to myself, like, if no one else joins this group, I will be okay. Like, I am happy as it is. And it's not meeting the financial goals that I had set out for myself on its own, but being able to switch from that to like, how lucky am I that I have these perfect clients, even if it's small. And so I think for me, being in the middle now is a lot more about like, it's easier when I change the focus, when I change the term success from client number and financial to the actual like work that is happening, has made the middle so much more fun. And I know that it's okay. Like, it feels successful. And I wouldn't have said that a year ago.
And you know what? It feels successful because of what you're doing inside of it, not because of the revenue, but because of that, because it feels successful to you and because you're having so much fun doing it. I know, I am 100% certain that this will continue to grow and will continue to help you put those puzzle pieces of revenue together and create this long-term space. It will, because of what you're doing right now and because you've shifted the way that you see the success inside of it. So,
and I appreciate all the work that you've done to help me get there, because it really does make a complete difference when you approach your business from a different viewpoint.
It does. And you know what I thought about too? This just came to my mind, and this was a recent example too from you, Teddi, where I remember you in the beginning very much going to like networking events and being like, okay, I'm going to the networking event. Do I have my elevator pitch correct? Do I have it memorized correctly? Like, is it right? Did I say it right? I'm so worried I'm not going to say it right. And then recently, do you want to talk about your experience with your recent one? It was just like night and day.
It was totally night and day. And I don't know what happened to me, but I really hate elevator pitches. And, and you're right. I was like trying to write it out and get every single word right. And like, how am I going to describe this to people? And I went to this recent event and I didn't even have business cards with me. And that was the first thing that like I showed up and someone handed me their business card. And I was like, crap, I don't even have a business card to give them. And then I met this woman and she pitched me her elevator speech. And it was so rehearsed. That I couldn't even necessarily like believe what she was saying. And so I just started like rambling about what I do. And so many people started relating with that so much more than if I had this like picture perfect speech.
Wasn't from what you told me. I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure. But like, I don't think it was a ramble. I think it was just you were using specific examples from like, the other day I helped my client. And I don't remember what it was.
I think it was, you're right. It went from like very coach speak to this is actually the things that I work on with clients and who my typical client is. And then the funny thing about the business cards ended up being that I had a notebook in my bag. And so I was just like ripping out pages and like writing my information to people. And it became like this talking point that
it's like on brand.
Totally much more. It was so on brand for my business, which is Beautiful Mess.
Beautiful Mess. Yeah.
And it was like, it didn't matter that I didn't have the fancy business cards with me. And in fact, it almost helped that I wasn't in this perfect scenario. Right.
Yes.
So it was just,
I remember talking to you after and you just seemed like you were just like, that was so fun and it was so easy. And again, like talking about how when we shift these identity pieces, when we shift this good girl conditioning, like everything feels different. And because things feel different and they feel easier and they feel fun, it just becomes a lot easier to show up and to do the things that like we all know what we need to do. Like, 9 times out of 10 when women come to me, it's not that they don't know what they need to do. It's just that they don't have the identity to back the strategy or to back being able to show up at a networking event, not have business cards, be like, nonchalant enough to just grab scraps of paper or napkins off the table and then turn that into a story about the incredible work that you do. Like that's really what it is.
And I think so much of the work that you do in order to get our business to that point is self-identity and self-trust and knowing that like I am able and capable and fully able to show up to this event and tell people what I do and take care of it instead of the thought of like, well, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I have this down pat. I don't, and so it's that like self-trust that really lets you move more freely.
I love it. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for being here, Teddi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Like I said, we could talk for another hour, I feel like. Yes.
Easily.
I know. I will put all of Teddi's information. You can go join her. She's an Instagram girly like me, so she hangs out there. We'll put info for the table there. We'll put information for the Netflix experience coming up in there too. And if this episode resonated, which something resonated in this conversation for you. So hop on over to Instagram, share with me, share with Teddi, share with both of us, what you're taking away from it. That's like what we love. And that's the reason I started the podcast, was to get to talk to incredible women just like you. So Teddi, thanks for being here. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
If you are sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, this episode was made for me, you have two options. You can book your absolutely free, no pressure growth gap audit call. On this call, we'll take a look at your current life and business structure, identify where your gaps are, and show you how to close those gaps so you can get better results with less effort by working smarter and focusing your time on what actually moves the needle forward. The link is in the show notes for you. Or if you're ready to go from one-off wins to repeatable revenue with structure, strategy, and sales that support your life and keep dream clients coming back and your calendar full without burning out, you can apply to work together by clicking the link in the show notes. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss any new episodes. And if this episode hits home, please consider leaving a review, hitting those stars, and sending it to your biz bestie who's also ready to build a life and business on purpose. I'll see you next time.